Yeah, sorry, it's an old team that we used to cast, and sometimes I remember them, and we both agree we wouldn't talk about it. Yeah, this is like a real Kel'Thuzad player we have in Korea, like who's actually good, and it makes sense.
His chains were awesome, and
surprise, surprise! You can forget the other big macro map here.
Oh man, and even though they don't really focus on the global, their rotation has been so working out, and I think the pick that works out so well for BlossoM is Sonya, and we didn't really get to see too much Sonya like going in, doing damage, getting the kills, but off screen she was always pushing lane, winning the top lane, getting all the camps so that they get the early start. So the other rotation, the other 4-man, can actually pressure into the lane, and even if they don't, other side will be getting the value.
Same with Rhaegar too, actually, in that last game. Pushing the lanes, clearing camps, helping to control that macro. And Sonya has been picked. 2 of the games for BlossoM was banned by them in game 1, where the solo lane matters a lot, but they want to go for the Zeratul comp. They moved completely away from that now. So will it be the Hanzo ban again here for BlossoM? It's the big question. You know, it worked pretty well for them in game 3. It was a more specifically strong map for Hanzo, but they do ban it again. Clearing the Sapper camps in light speed time, clearing the boss in light speed time, record time with Hanzo is very scary. So if you just let the Hanzo through, then Feliz could, even though they're very weak at macro, control some aspects of that on this map. So last time they took Malfurion first pick, they were outbursted, out-rotated, outplayed. They went for the Tranquility over Twilight Dream. I think that it's still a reasonable pick, but they're going to have to draft around the DPS of BlossoM better if they want to run the Malfurion here. Garrosh, though, this is the kind of play you were talking about earlier, because we saw so many Garrosh bans saying, take that away.
There are way too many DPS. You can take the Genji, but of course Hanzo's banned. Hanzo is banned, but there's Tracer. There are other DPS that's available, so why not just go towards the target where you have the best chance at? Take out the Garrosh, or take away Garrosh. And it works out perfectly for OJ. Has been playing great Garrosh all throughout the season. It's not the most common pick, of course, but for this matchup, I think it's one of the best ones to pick right now in game number 4.
Where do you think BlossoM goes with this? Uther Genji, old school safe?
I think, easy one, of course. Easy one would be the Genji. I don't think they're going towards that.
They could go Malf Tracer.
Because Malfurion works well with Garrosh. I think they want to counter that pick right now. They can still have Genji. And also bring in Medivh later on if they want to, but it is going to be Tracer.
So they take the DPS first. They take control of the damage. Tracer's fantastic on this map at harassing. Actually one of her more famous maps when she was released, along with Medivh. Genji will be taken with the Uther against them, though, and that's a scary thought to face this on this map. But what else can BlossoM do in terms of macro is the next question here. They ran the Rhaegar, obviously, it was a different support that gave them more control of the macro. Sonya was very successful previously. Feliz will likely ban the Sonya here. So what should BlossoM ban in response? If this is to be true, and if they could predict this, it's a tough question. As there's a lot of solo laners available. Wiz is a terrifying player to lane against, and is very good at controlling some aspects of macro with his solo lane play.
Supports are gone. They already have Garrosh. Time to target the solo lane, I think.
Do you ban the Malthael here, just straight up?
I don't think Malthael was a big problem after game 3. I don't think they will be even thinking about that pick. Possibly Blaze or Dehaka. They do have Avatar up there.
Banning a potential global that could empower Genji.
Or even a 0-2 last pick.
Yeah, I like it. This also means that they can choose between Sonya and Malthael. Whichever one they don't ban, you can take it. If you don't want to run the Dehaka, if you don't want to run the Leoric in this comp, which we haven't seen a single one in this series of those 2 solo laners, you get the better solo laner. So Feliz probably, if Feliz is thinking the same thing that I am, I probably ban neither, because they can take the other one at least.
Yes.
So they have that backup plan, but if they ban one and BlossoM takes the other, they basically shot themselves in the foot.
Of course, that's why they're going for the tank. ETC, not really the best one, I would say. They already have Garrosh, and soft counters ETC. It's already a good matchup for Garrosh. Maybe they think the extra potential CC, maybe even a stage dive on this map could be a problem, so maybe that's a good ban.
Do you want to deny the potential Tormented Souls Divine Shield, grab Malthael, win the matchup, but trade off camp clear time? Or do you want to take the faster camp clear in exchange for your opponent having Malthael and that combo? You're running a Tracer comp, so Tracer is not really afraid of that damage over time from Malthael, so that's one reason why you could argue for the Sonya. They've controlled macro with the Sonya.
Also Blaze, Bunker for the Pulse Bomb counter. I think that's also should be that should be in everyone's mind.
So yeah, so they want to take it for themselves potentially, so Feliz can't do that. It's a good point. Tyrael also an option. Holding on to it, grabbing the Anub'arak, so denying the Blaze pick. And also the noob comes in.
And also ETC was Gondar's second most picked, I believe, after Garrosh. So he was forced to go into Anub'arak. Not his best hero to play with, of course.
Play on, play with, whatever you want. You're fine. You live everything you're saying.
Play Anub'arak. Do it. The Beatles. Let's see. Where is Gondar? Okay, Garrosh, ETC, and Tyrael. Right below that, Anub'arak, Tyrael 4 times,
Anub'arak 10 times in total, including 2017. And
of course, it used to be Stitches
15.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Back in 2017, but Stitches gone.
18 games at Garrosh, so Anub'arak is definitely his second best pick statistically at the moment. Locking the Tychus early here. Solo laner, I feel like, has to be Malthael. You have a good pairing for it. Ooh, they're going for trying to counteract some of the macro aspects. The cool thing about Malthael is you will help burn through Blaze and Anub'arak in team fights. Dehaka is really going to struggle to grab Tracer. Can grab Anub'arak though, there's a lot of things you can do with that. And Gondar has been known to be a hyper-aggressive Anub'arak, so that is one thing that you can use against him.
And I think Dehaka pretty good. Isolation onto Tracer will be the best thing ever for Feliz. No blink, no recall. Basically
easier said than done, but yeah.
But it did happen a few times in Eastern Clash, and basically that trap down Tracer, that was the kill, and it was the end of the team fight for some teams. And Dehaka also providing global. They were having the problem with the macro in game 2 and 3. Dehaka could solve a lot of that. Of course, they don't have a Sonya here. But let's see there. But Dehaka is against the Blaze. Should be an okay matchup on the top.
What about just a Junkrat here? Close it out. Some extra peel, extra DPS. Great delay on altars. Mage is available as well, but Junkrat feels safe. They go with the Mage pick. This is super all in on the Tracer. This is not strong by any means against the composition that Feliz is running with Polybomb, for example. This I don't even think is going to be a Polybomb pick. DPS and harassment. This has always been Medivh's battleground in Korea, with Rich being the pioneer of the hero, with you know, basically getting Master Touch faster than anybody else. When Medivh was released during the 2016 Summer Global Championship, I remember I went to a PC bong and Rich like stayed all night and was trying to show everyone in like Grandmaster EU like how he was able to top hero damage every game he played Medivh, no matter what map it was. But then he used it in pro games in Korea in Super League in Season 3 to show how much Medivh with his cooldown reduction can delay. This is going to be a little bit of both. Delay for the Medivh and protection for the Tracer.
That's right, and that puts a lot more pressure onto Tracer's shoulders there. Dudu has to put out maximum damage. They have to land every single CC. Which target is the best one though? I'm wondering. The armor from Uther would be super powerful against all that burst, the Pulse Bomb. And can you really find another target? Pulse Bomb on the Genji, pretty hard. Tychus, a lot tankier than the other ranged assassins.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wait for the deflect to be worn off, or go for Garrosh so that the burst can help go through his shield. Not going to be the strongest pick. Unusual talent at level 1 for Blaze, actually. Different stim than what we normally see. We normally see the mana one, the purple one.
I think it's the auto attack one.
Yeah, it is. It's less common in Korea. Also regen master for Anubarak. Unusual talents.
It will take a lot of teamwork for BlossoM to actually make a kill. Even past 10, past level 20. Medivh, of course, by that time will also gain some power with those stacks. See how well they can trap one target in the whoa.
Deny the portal. If you can do that
Save.
consistently, that's pretty sick.
About a great save by Wiz right there. Hitting that AoE stun to save his teammate.
Pretty scary thought, though, what's going to happen later on with later death timers if Medivh portals are getting shut down by Garrosh tosses. The Garrosh pick, I think, was a great adjustment here for Feliz. OJ, you know, struggling on the ETC, they ban it. This makes a lot more sense.
One thing that will be somewhat harassing from Feliz side will be that Medivh. Is it going to be that Polybomb or
I think it's
the
going to be Leyline.
Seal?
Because Polybomb, look at how everyone's going to stand in the team fight. This is not a sanctification comp. There's no Malfurion on the side of Feliz. There's no reason to group. Like, I can't see why Polybomb would be chosen. There's only one area of the map where you're going to have a big fight where everyone's clumped, and that's going to be the boss. Maybe a camp, but like that's less realistic.
But you know me, I always want to argue. Trap one with the cocoon, and then make sure you have another one being in the chicken. And
okay, I see what you're saying.
You create a better situation for the team. You can focus the damage. And maybe better with the lane line. If you can just isolate one target, but that's not the easiest thing to do. It's very slow.
You could theoretically cocoon Uther, for example, right? And the second he's about to come out of the cocoon, leyline seal him, and then just keep him out of the fight. That's obviously, again, easier said than done, but let's see how these fights work out before 10, before we start getting too, you know, in depth about what will be chosen, because there might be some adjustments based on how this game starts to evolve. The biggest challenge, like you said, I think you said it very well. Duda's pulse bomb targets are realistically only the Tychus, and he hit one earlier, but it didn't matter because there was no follow-up damage. Medivh's damage is very slow, although look at this angle! OJ caught here, gonna get bursting down to very low, but does survive with this armor. Really good angle coming through from Gondar, though, on the Anubarak. Unfortunately, it's not enough, but the way that fight was taken initially there was fantastic. If they had any other DPS besides Medivh, which, again, I don't even want to call him a DPS, but if they had any other source of damage and any other pick besides the Medivh, that would have been a kill for sure.
Because the Haka did not brush talk all the way down, was able to get a few more, but Hanatan was super passive, and he wanted to join the team fight, it seemed like, for a second. I think he had more than enough time to clear the wave a few seconds earlier. Could have got a lot more EXP. Also, go for the camp time. He had lots of times, but he was very passive, and that's what you usually see from Hanatan when he plays the Haka.
Gondar as well, you know, allowed that channel to go through with all the CCs too. So Hanatan coming down might have turned things for sure, but I'm gonna live in the present now, not the past, as Blaze is dominating that top lane. Another pulse bomb's ready. I think this would be an opportunity for BlossoM to commit to an invade on the red side Sapper camp, especially with all the damage Modern Life has been able to put on. Modern Life is killing it tonight. It's hitting a lot of Qs early in this early game. And look at the lane control here. I would like to see an invade potentially. They're going to hide it if they do it. It's like just not confident enough. Going to try to set up a trap for Frankel, make it look like they're invading, and then catch Frankel on the rotation, but they show too early. Frankel is going to have to hearth home in this double altar phase. Great force of will there. Dude takes not a single point of damage, not a single one.
Okay, Genji actually goes all the way back home.
Yeah, he hearthed.
And he does have the Swift Strike to join into the fight. And they delay enough time for him to come back. That's a great sign of teamwork there. But already Alter on the left side has been gone for BlossoM. All they have to do is land some TC, make sure Dudu can create the angle to pick up that kill with the pulse bomb.
Okay, stun comes in on the Gondor, but he's in great position to continue to deny this. Frankel is toying with death right now with his positioning. Pushed away by the Beatles at the moment. Modern jumps out of Raven form. Gondar gets tossed in, but he's in a great position to come out here and grab the stun. Pulse bomb comes in. No mitigation here, bursting right through that shield again. It's the target, Garrosh. He wants more than anything. Hanaten gonna heal through this with his trait. Pulse bomb.
Body block from Gondar is amazing right there.
Pulse bomb already used, not enough damage there to toss another one out. So Hanaten lives for so long, lives even more here from Uther's Ghost. Is gonna end up dying here. Can BlossoM re-engage? I think so. Nasong's low on mana though. Are they just simply going to let this one go and go look for a 10? Or maybe Gondar delays this, they grab 10 and look for a fight. We're going to find out if it's going to be that Force of Will or not, or should be the Leyline Seal or not. They failed to interrupt. That's actually the saddest thing. Twice in a row now they've had these like last minute failed interrupts on the side of BlossoM.
Amber gets it at the very end. Cocoon
They do
Volley.
Polybomb, yeah. Not what I expected. This time you're right on the heroic debate.
See, baseline Master Touch will finish pretty quick actually.
Yeah, 650. We've had it interrupted a few times this week.
Modern is playing up superb tonight as he's filling the flex role. Hanaten, where he joined the fight, the bush that he came in was kind of weird. No damage could follow up. And even that was cleansed by Nature's Cure from Nasong. Really getting lost. They should be controlling the macro, but they're just outplayed by the Blaze. Losing the top lane so hard right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Modern Life is just tearing through them with poke damage. He finished his Master's Touch. Look at how much damage he can do. Obviously, this is slightly less powerful than it would have been pre-rework, but like it's still very strong. It's a strong pick. Medivh with his extra utility now that he has with his heals, and that people suddenly realize Polybomb is actually pretty strong. He's doing a lot here. Sometimes all it takes is a rework for people to practice a hero a lot, and even if the hero in some aspects is weaker than it was before, he starts seeing a lot of play, and it's a great example of that. It's Medivh map, always in Korea. It's then the map we saw the most Medivh on.
Hey Wolf?
Yeah.
It is X-Strike.
Okay.
I just saw this.
I just noticed as well. I just assumed it would be Dragon Blade. Seems bad, right? Like
Taunt, isolation, burst damage. Okay, this is what they want, but it's on a Tracer. They actually get a kill. I mean, BlossoM did get the kill.
Self-Divine Shield here onto Liu. Here's the Cocoon. No damage with Tychus. They could dive deep. Tranquility.
Isolation missed right there. Nathan tries to turn this back. Tychus will be getting that CC. Oh man, there is no escape.
Liu's gonna die as well. Portal to allow more members to join this fight. Oh, Dudu missed the last few auto attacks there. So he actually does get out, but Pulse Bomb to guarantee this so they can have a faster rotation. I actually love how adamant Dudu is using his Pulse Bombs consistently, like all the time. Like even something like this, I like it because it means they get this faster, they get the 5-shot. They can build it again before the next team fight. And I also like how he's been killing Garrosh. His focus has been Garrosh every time to burst through that armor.
Sometimes it may not be enough, but he has been holding for the right opportunity only. He doesn't really throw it down to random heroes all the time. He's a different type of Tracer player. He holds it for such a long time, so Liu has to be holding in that queue to hold and to heal his teammates to get their armor so that they survive that pulse bomb, but because of that, he can't really give any heals to other people.
Yeah, in some respects, he doesn't hold because he's willing to hit the Garrosh, but like, he holds it for only the Garrosh, you know, and like, he could obviously kill Tychus several times. He has used it on Tychus a few times because he has kind of like tossed it in early. But like in these last few fights, he has been holding it for this Garrosh. He's got it now.
The only chance that Feliz can do, they are losing the top lane. It's impossible to really go for the macro, even for the Haka. When you're losing that lane super bad, OG has to throw in the target, but they know BlossoM knows exactly that OG is trying to do that, so they have the utility. Tracer can blink. Of course, Medivh can just protect anywhere.
I think they could try to force the fights. It would be sloppy, but I think their other chance would have been to Divine Shield or Dragon Blade to start an engage, but because they took X-Strike, that option is just simply not there. And they clear this camp immediately, but this is buying time for BlossoM just to maintain their 5-shot. And the next altar, they have control of its zone. 13's up for Feliz.
The longer this goes, it's going to go towards BlossoM. They don't even have a global. They just have Blaze, who barely ever joined the team fight.
Yeah, and Blaze, who's also been starting to work on that top wall, starting to threaten even potentially that top bell tower. If that happens, that's game over, RIP. So
here's Blaze. If they want to go for their own, they have to at least delay or stall this as long as possible. So actually, Dehaga joins already.
Okay, comes in early, but is spotted early as well. Gondar's caught, though, in an awkward spot. Trying to help zone, trying to help peel. The main target here has been OJ. He's been the focus firing of all these targets, and then the Pulse Bomb comes through. Divine Shield saves him this time, but again, he has no impact in this fight now. Frankel out of the fight. X-Strike, will we ever even see it used this game? I'm starting to lean towards no. Polybomb means OJ is zoned again. And OJ has been the weak link for Feliz, and they are just trying to punch that. Here's a nice grab, though. Gondar gets the portal, though. Tranquility for the heals. OJ goes down. And this is going to be a disaster.
Everything. The last thing they needed was the midi for the protection for the portal. They have everything in their hands. The offensive CC, the defensive CC in their hands.
Oh my god, Frankel almost dying to the Qs here. Like, had they been a little bit more coordinated, they might have actually all just killed him. He can't even back. He's forced away. This is going to be a 6 bell tower game, I think. They should boss now, I think, instead of being super greedy, especially look at the top wave. So, as Dehaka is the global that they're struggling with, they're going to boss first. But maybe for 1 second, while bottom is being retaken, they can get 6. Either way, that's always going to be a threat. And this has been a struggling series for BlossoM, with a team that was clearly the favorites. But it feels like they finally hit their stride on these macro maps, Dragonshire and Towers of Doom.
This is just painful to watch right now as Feliz is not making any changes. They're losing the 4-man, the top lane. It's happening since the beginning until now. What else can they do? Throw in and the Nubarak who's protected, who will go into that portal very soon and save.
And protection. Divine Shield forced for a Pulse Bomb. Way better trade for the Pulse Bomb, by the way.
There is no way, unless some big hiccup comes out from BlossoM themselves, the Feliz will not get a kill anytime soon.
X-Strike still hasn't been used yet. Just throwing that out there.
That's going to be used for an escape,
I don't even know what...
possibly a misclick, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. I never want to say things like that because I'm not sure, but like, we have to entertain the possibility, right? And this might just be the end of the game. Divine Shield would never have empowered a Dragon Blade anyways, I guess you could argue, because it's been used either self-cast on Uther or onto OJ, who's been overextending. Okay, Tracer's going to grab mid. Okay, no, not exactly. We'll win the fight here. Baits out this deflect, then Pulse Bombs, X-Strike for the escape. I guess you get an extra deflect that way.
We saw one finally.
That actually saves the game for them. They don't get all 3 altars. This actually, that X-Strike saves the game for them for the moment.
They want to get the Bell Tower and the Sapper is available, so anything, 1 shot will be the game. Well, 2, the other Bell Tower goes down, so it was actually 4, my bad.
Yeah, so it is going to be 2 required, but any boss will win the game. Any Bell Tower from here on out will win the game. They're going to have this escort here of these sappers.
Protected, by the way, and the portal's available. Hanathan comes from the back, but no damage will follow. Isolation onto Nubarak. Let's see. X-Strike is not there.
This is really bad for Feliz. They need to retreat. These sappers are just going to crash into the bell tower at least. It's terrible for them, but could be worse, if you could believe it. Bell tower survives. Frankel goes in. But for what? Backs away. Raven forms up. And they're just going to try to siege this. They have the better siege with Medivh. Even though Tychus is on the other side, they're going to look to just escort these minions into this bell tower so they can get another
They need
grab.
better pokes. They might have to pop the Odin and try to go engage right now. They have 16.
I think it's okay.
They have lots of HP.
I think it's okay to let this bell tower go. Anything's going to kill you at this point. So if you're trying to... Oh, God, another Divine Shield burn.
I don't think that was needed.
Yeah, definitely not. But if you lose this bell tower, like, that's okay because anything's going to kill you. Losing this bell tower, you lose a little bit of map control, but like getting team wiped over saving this bell tower is just simply not worth it. I think they should just let it go. They have to fight for these altars.
I think they have less than 20 seconds for that GG.
Seems that way. Here's the commitment. Yep, Cocoon.
Going in, bell tower's down. They can engage whatever they want to. Taunt is there, no follow-up damage. Odin will be going down from the pulse bomb.
Polybomb going in here, connecting multiple times. Frankel's trying to sneak his way over to the left side. Already 2 are dead. The deflect comes out. X-Strike, though, already used. That's going to be the full team wipe here. And BlossoM, they had a rough start to this series, but they come back on Dragonshire, Towers of Doom, macro maps, and win them with flying colors. OJ calls GG. Fitting he'd be the first to say it because his ETC play and his Garrosh were always the target of BlossoM. Always the focus of Modern Life's Medivh, looking for the pokes onto Garrosh specifically so that the burst coming through from the Pulse Bomb would break through that armor and they would get the kill again and again and again. And BlossoM will take the 3-1 victory tonight. But they do so knowing that tonight's victory was much more difficult than it should have been. They needed that 3-0. Every point you can get against Feliz to try to catch up to get top 3 for Midseason Brawl. They're going to be happy with some of the experimentation, the Kel'Thuzad, the Medivh. But in terms of the scoreline, very unhappy.
I wanted to see these numbers right here.
More heals than Uther, by the way, for Nasong here. This is another one of those stories. Like, every time we have to mention, like...
And also Medivh.
Yeah, Medivh having decent, obviously, 12k, but the 20k extra healing that a Malfurion can give you is quite significant in these cases. Damage from Dudu, 50k. A lot of those in the pulse bombs.
Gondar soaking up so much
Yeah.
damage and no
Look at Wiz.
death.
Look at what Wiz was able to do in the top lane. You were talking about that a lot too. Doing more than Dahaka as a soul laner that doesn't have the ability to global.
It is not the worst matchup as a Dahaka player, but still he was very passive and it was really hard for him to actually go push in. Blaze was winning that top 2 4-man. We talked about it a lot. When they were tossed in, they were protected. There was a portal. So their Garrosh first pick, I initially thought it was a very good one. I think one of the picks that should be changed was maybe Taika's, because Taika's had to go really close in order to do any damage. But oftentimes there was the Anubarak, which I was very surprised to see. Gondar oftentimes was not the best Anubarak, but in this game he seemed actually really on point every single time.
From the first altar phase where he was able to get that nice angle and get the big stuns and then allow that channel, it was pretty fantastic. I don't want to pick on the Garrosh pick per se, but I feel like OJ just was not able to deliver. Not able to get grabs enough, not able to punish the Tracer. We saw a few grabs, but it was just never into the right spot. And it's tough to capitalize on grabs when Medivh's on the other side because he's protected, by the way. Portal, by the way. Medivh, by the way.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, you have some trouble with the burst damage follow-up when you're only running a Tychus and a Genji. The Dragon Blade, I feel like maybe that was a misclick. We might get some clarification on that at some point, but it's a little bit, you know, it didn't work out like they planned. It was a solid draft overall. The Medivh pick was smart. My MVP is Modern Life, 100%.
Me too. And he was able to bring all that damage. Lots of mage, also flexing in here and there, whatever the team needs. He was always there. Maybe even Gondar. His play was so much better, as you mentioned. Basically, BlossoM in Game 4 has outdrafted, countered what Feliz was trying to do. Right when they saw that Garrosh, I don't think they knew that pick was coming, but after thinking for such a long time, they were picking Malfurion Tracer, and then after that, they knew exactly what to do. ETC was banned, and Gondar was confident enough to actually go into Anubarak and made that work. Very well done with the Medivh.
Yeah. Well, we're going to jump into our interview after some highlights, which I guess are still being prepared. So G-Cuff and I are talking about, we're breaking down the game, the draft, and some of those moments, and who we thought would be the MVP. We do this little small talk. We wait for the highlights to come, then we talk about the highlights a little bit, then we go in the interview. We're stuck in one of the process. There's one of the gears is jammed, so we didn't go to the highlight video yet. We're still stuck in the part where we do the post-game analysis.
If I be honest, after watching game
There we
1 and
go.
2, oh, there's the result, not the highlight yet. After watching game 1 and 2, between the break, and you know what, you saw my face. I was doing the fail fist motion. What happened to BlossoM? They were so much better back in Easter. I think they were just getting warmed up, and they knew exactly what to do. They knew the weak points of Feliz, the big macro play, and the experience. I think that's what they need right now.
We talked about the MVP, we talked about some of the cool picks, but the worst pick today, in both series, was the Zeratul pick. Completely non-functional, did not accomplish anything. It was by far the weakest pick of all 7 games we cast today.
Yeah, including yesterday too. I think today's 2-0-2 was one of the worst ones that we've ever seen. Maybe Void Prison, we were talking about the break too. If that were to happen, it could have changed lots of team fights, and Wiz is pretty good on that. Void Prison, they also had the Sanctification. They also had a T-Real on their own side, I think. Well, was that game number 2? I can't remember exactly, but still, it's a big game-changing tool like Sanctification, like a Mosh Pit. So I think Void Prison is still very viable, but Korean players like to go for that assassination.
Well, let's take a look at some of the fights here. You can see that was just a mistake by Modern Life getting super far down there. Okay, look at these sunderings, and the basically setup of Twilight Dream is why this anti-dive comp did so well in Game 1. And for those who missed Game 1 and wondered, well, the games, 3 and 4 were so one-sided. How the hell did BlossoM win Game 1? It's just with with Feliz win Game 1 with really sick defensive engagements. They picked this map, which I thought was really intelligent based on how many fights you can take with defensive engagements against dive on boss zones, on tributes. But the Medivh pick again was just too strong for them here, and they lost basically every fight versus this Brightwing that kind of disrupted what they were trying to do. And Twilight Dream was interrupted, or basically Malfurion was killed in a lot of these fights before they could even happen. And Houghton on the Zeratul did not accomplish anything.
I think overall Hanaton was really weak today on his solo performance in that lane. Outplayed so much, even from Modern, from Wiz oftentimes on that solo lane. Sonya, whenever Sonya gets that power, we could tell when there was Sonya's chain. We could tell, okay, Wiz is going to get the power up, and Tempest is going to get the power up. But when Sonya gets that nerf later on, I think Sonya will be getting some changes because she's way too strong right now. Of course, that's nowhere in the patch yet. Thrall nerf is coming. I think Sonya, when that nerf hits, I think that's going to change a lot of the meta in Korea, especially for these two teams, BlossoM and Tempest.
Yeah, just watching the final highlights here. One of the tosses, but Portal comes out, Tranquility to counter engage.
Taunt pretty
taunt,
cool.
Yeah, taunt attempt, but
5 men. But no damage, of course.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump to our interview. Finally, they agree with us. Modern Life definitely the MVP. They chose him as MVP. Jacob, take the interview translated for the Western viewers. Oh God,
of course.
We
We have Modern Life, who used to be AKA Modern.
You mean Modern, aka what used to be known as
Yes.
Modern Life?
Yes. Hankana's stripping me really hard already. Well, we thought we were going to win today, and it happened. Well, Modern, he's usually a very funny person as a player, but I think I'm really having bad questions as an interviewer. Where do you think you are getting all the... How are you coming with all those team comps that's countering the other team? I think it's what Wiz is doing well, it's not me. And sometimes we have different opinions, and sometimes not everything works out at the same time, but we have a pretty wide hero pool, and I think I can play a lot of heroes.
굉장히 하소연도 많이 제가 들었잖아요. 맘고생도 심했고 그랬는데 슬럼프 뚫었다라고 딱 한마디 한 뒤에.
And I know you've been through some slump phase, some hard times, and now with the Eastern Clash, it seems like you have put yourself up there. How did you manage to do so? Well, I quit I
많은
quit
걸로
watching. I quit reading the posts from
감사하고
community,
더
and I got better
좋은
all of a
모습으로
sudden.
더 이스턴 말고 또 다른 대회까지
And not
나갈
just
수
Eastern,
있도록 열심히
I
노력하겠습니다.
will try really hard to go to that
사실 이제
mid-season
모다
brawl.
선수 팬분들한테 해달라는 그런 말씀이었는데 블라썸 그게 마지막 질문이었거든요. 저는 마지막 질문을 이제 끝으로 하고 데스크로 마이크를 넘기도록
And it
하겠습니다.
seems like that's going to be the end of the interview, as he was about to ask another question towards the fans, but he already answered that question. So Hong Kong ran out of questions. So that's the end of the interview, guys.
Wow, I feel a little bit cheated. I feel like Modern Life had so much more to say.
I know, and O Prime had like a 12-minute interview, and Hong Kong has like a minute interview.
Well, community sites, man, they can really get to you as a pro gamer, and to be able to put that behind yourself and focus on the future after poor performances on Tempest, I feel like, you know, that's something you got to do, and to stay strong and keep your career moving forward. I'm proud of Modern Life for what he's been able to accomplish. He had a great day today. It was definitely MVP. So BlossoM will solidify their spot in 4th place a little bit further here. Gluck is just on the cusp. Obviously, their 3-2 win yesterday against Ace doesn't do them any favors for staying ahead. But for Tempest, obviously, Ballistics and KSV Black still very competitive ranking as KSV Black picks up their 3 wins today, so no movement. But tomorrow, gonna have Ace versus Tempest and Gluck versus KSV Black. These matches seem, on paper again, theoretically very one-sided, but with how much improvement we saw from Ace and how well they played against Gluck, I think that first series could be really exciting. Gluck, if they're able to upset KSV Black, very likely KSV Black will drop down and stay in 3rd place for the rest of the season, so they need that win. They're the favorites, sure, but we have seen upsets already this season.
And KSV Black, if they want to go all the way up to the 1st place, they cannot be dropping any sets from now on, especially against the lower teams right now in Gluck's. Not the lower team, it's in the middle, but still, the only team they can be dropping sets is against Tempest, against Ballistics. Other than that, they have to win every single thing 3-0. Unless that happens, I don't think they will be going up to 1st place at the end of the phase 1.
Yeah, it's you got to win against those teams above you and kind of beat everybody else. So Miracle gets a break. They don't have to play tomorrow. They're, I think, one of the sad stories potentially of this season. So we'll be seeing them next week. Still waiting to find out when when Phoenix is going to be released. I'm guessing like this Tuesday or something like that, right?
This Thursday Korean time, usually Thursday, very early Thursday.
Yeah, all right.
That's usually when the patch hits. So I think
he says usually, but like sometimes crazy stuff happens.
I know it always changes depending on when the patch is.
I just want to know when that Dragoon is coming to our tournament.
I want to buy. I have 32k gold. I want to buy it instantly and play that Phoenix.
I heard that Phoenix is actually because it's StarCraft 20th anniversary, selling for 33,000 gold. I'm sorry.
What?
You should get grinding to get that last 1,000.
Shouldn't they put him on sale if they want to celebrate it?
Sorry, I'm joking. I don't know how much. He's probably gonna be 15 or 12k. I don't know.
15.
15 probably.
12? 20?
Look, I don't know. I'm just gonna buy him with gems. G-Club. I'm gonna use my dirty
15.
esports money.
Hey, it's not 30. I like esports money.
I'm using my dirty ones.
And then RPD's saying to close out because we're making awkward jokes all the time.
Yeah, he's trying to get us out of here. So, we will see you guys tomorrow for more HGC Korea. Don't miss it.